Hello, these are your instructions for your Adrenal Stress Index test, or your ASI. Always complete all 4 saliva collections per these instructions for any single or test combination ordered. Collect on a day that represents your typical and usual lifestyle. Write your name and date of birth on all vials and on the front of your form. So in the front of these vials and on your form. 3 to 5 days prior to your collection, avoid any sublingual or under the tongue hormone intake in the form of drops, troches, or pellets. Swallow them with liquid instead. From the night before your collection until after your last saliva sample has been collected, avoid any sublingual drops, troches, or pellets. Do not use any antacids, bismuth medications, or mouthwash. On the day of collection, do not eat chocolate, onions, garlic, or cruciferous vegetables such as cabbage, cauliflower, or broccoli. It is not problematic if less than 1 teaspoon is consumed. Do not drink coffee, tea, or any other caffeinated beverages. All samples must be collected on the same day, starting with a morning vial and ending with a midnight vial. For your saliva collection, 60 minutes before your collection, do not eat or drink anything except water. Do not brush your teeth and avoid smoking. 3 to 5 minutes prior to your collection, rinse your mouth thoroughly with cold water for 60 seconds. 3 to 5 minutes prior to collection, rinse your mouth thoroughly with cold water for 30 seconds. Follow the schedule below for your collection times. Remove cotton from the vial and place it under your tongue until it is fully saturated. Do not chew or suck on the cotton roll. Return the cotton to the vial, recap, place it in the Ziploc bag, and include the orange shipping pad. Refrigerate and ship all samples together within 3 days, following the shipping instructions at the bottom of the form. Collect your saliva in the vials matching the times below. For your morning or fasting sample, take that sample around 6 to 8 a.m. For your noon sample, you'll take that between 11 and 1 p.m. Your afternoon sample will be between 4 and 5 p.m. At provider's discretion, eat 50 grams of carbohydrates, or what is equivalent to 200 calories, about 60 to 90 minutes before your sample. Examples of this include 2 slices of wheat bread and 1 cup of orange juice, or 1 cup of cooked oatmeal and 1 cup of orange juice, or 2 cups of cornflake snacks. On your form, you will notice an area where you are to circle to indicate if you have gingivitis or bleeding gums. Also, fill in a circle if you are not on a regular wake in the day or sleep in the night cycle, as this will affect your results as well. On the form, you will see several substances that could interfere with your test results. Please consult with Dr. Lisa before collection. Indicate the type, the daily dose, and the last date and time of any of the following medications. The medications include dexamethasone, antihistamines, decongestants, antidepressants, anti-anxiety medications, glandular, DHEA, prednisone, cortisol, prednisolone, Cordaid, steroid inhalants. If we're testing for DHEA, only 2 samples are required. These would be your noon and afternoon vials. Refer to your saliva collection instructions as listed above on your form. Some commonly asked questions about the ASI test include the following. Please note, for most of your concerns, you will need to consult with Dr. Lisa before calling the lab. They appreciate that, and thank you. How long does it take to process the test from the time it's received? It takes an average of 5 to 7 business days. If I send the test in towards the end of the week, is that all right? Yes, if mailing for Saturday delivery, use postal overnight to their P.O. box. Otherwise, follow the mailing instructions at the end of your instruction page. How much is the test? Fees vary, so please contact the office of Dr. Lisa Hosbein and we can discuss that with you. If I collect my samples outside of the specified times, will that mess up the diagnosis? You can collect your specimens up to 1 hour before or after the specified times. If more than an hour outside of the times, you will need to repeat your collection. Storage and mailing instructions for all specimens. Ship samples on the same day as the last sample collection. That's the preferred method. If not, refrigerate the samples and ship within 3 days. Write your name, address, gender, birth date, and collection date on the requisition form. This information would be up in this area, up in here. Write your name and date of birth on all of the vials. Be sure the required test orders are marked on the form. If not, please contact Dr. Lisa for your test orders. Include payment check or credit card information and copy of your Medicare or insurance card if applicable. Place vials, requisition, or your test form and payment into the kit box. The quart is a 1 saliva specimen. Some questions for this are as follows. What if I mix up my collection vials by accident? Simply change the labels on the vials in question to match your corresponding collections. How and where do I mail my specimens? The instructions for mailing are located at the bottom of your instruction page. If I accidentally have any of the restricted foods, will that mess up my test? As long as it was only a condiment, less than 1 tablespoon, there is no problem. However, for non-condiment restricted foods, you will need to repeat the test. Another question is, I'm taking a certain drug. Do I need to discontinue while doing the test? Call Dr. Lisa and have her phone for clarification. What if I brushed my teeth less than an hour before collecting my sample? You will need to recollect. Simply discard the cotton roll of the sample in question and spit into the collection vial. Repeat at the correct time. Can you send me the test results or an itemized statement? Results will be sent to the office of Dr. Lisa. If you send payment to us directly, we will send you a properly itemized insurance statement. Note, following the use of Nizoral, Diflucan, progesterone cream, and other hormone creams, gels, and oral troches, your hormone results may be skewed from 3 to 70 days depending on substance or sublingual preparations. For more information, please contact Dr. Lisa. For U.S. domestic, tuck the flap into the box and seal with a UPS mailing label. Today we're learning about the test kit for the GI panel. In your test kit, you'll have several different contents. You're going to notice that you have 3 short and wide mouth stool tubes, 1 that is labeled A, and 2 that are labeled B. Do not switch the labels on any of your vials and do not discard the fluid in your vials. You'll also see that you have 2 smaller vials, one that's labeled H and the other that's labeled HC. Your HC vial also has a cotton roll on the inside. In order to prepare for your test, you need to write your name and date of birth on all of your vials, such as shown right here. 3 to 4 days prior to your first collection and until all samples have been collected, avoid the following: all vitamins and minerals, fiber laxatives, iron supplements, antibiotics, antacids, digestive enzymes, antifungals, rare cooked red meats, brewer's yeast, bismuth compounds such as Pepto-Bismol, bentonite clay such as kaopectate, enemas, suppositories, and cruciferous vegetables such as cabbage or broccoli or cauliflower. Step 1, your first stool collection, day 1, and it goes in the B vial. Catch stool on a stretched plastic wrap across the toilet bowl or into a clean plastic container. Follow the diagram to the right and collect stool into one of the B vials. Do not freeze the filled stool tubes, but refrigerate until mailing. Step 2, your second stool collection. Day 3, A vial and second B vial. On the third day, perform the second stool collection. Follow the instructions in step 1 to collect the stool into both the second B vial and the A vial. Follow the instructions in step 1 to collect stool into both the second B vial and the A vial. Do not transfer stool from one vial to the other vial. Cap each stool tube tightly and shake vigorously for about 1 minute. Refrigerate until mailing. For the A vial, please indicate if your stool was dry, solid, soft, or runny. Step 3 is your saliva collection. You do this on day 3. You use the H and the HC vials. On the third day, also collect saliva samples. Collect saliva samples at least 1 hour after a meal. On the day of your saliva collection, please avoid consuming any of the following: onions, garlic, caffeine, cruciferous vegetables such as cabbage, cauliflower, and broccoli. It is not problematic if less than 1 tablespoon is consumed. About 60 minutes prior to the collection of saliva, please avoid the following: smoking, eating, beverages, although water is okay, brushing your teeth, flossing, and mouthwash. Rinse your mouth with cold water for about 30 seconds. Wait 2 to 5 minutes and remove the cotton roll from the HC vial. Place it under your tongue and keep it there until it is fully saturated. Do not chew. Return it to the vial and recap. Once you're finished with your saliva collection in your HC vial, wait another 60 minutes. You will then collect saliva directly into your H vial. Rinse your mouth as above and collect the saliva directly into the H vial up to the 5th line. Recap and refrigerate until mailing. After the collection of your saliva specimens, check the applicable box below. Check if you have used antibiotics in the past 2 years and developed gastrointestinal symptoms within 2 months of use, or check I have been diagnosed with gingivitis or bleeding gums. Collect all vials in the box and return them all together. Ship the samples on the same day as the last sample collection, which is the preferred method. If not, refrigerate samples and ship within 3 days. Write your name, address, gender, birth date, and collection date on the requisition form. Write your name and date of birth on all vials. Be sure the required test orders are marked on the form. If not, please contact Dr. Lisa for test orders. Include payment check or credit card information and copy of your Medicare or insurance card, if applicable. Place vials, requisition, or test form and payment into the kit box. For U.S. domestic, tuck the front flap into the box and seal with a U.S. mailing label. Place the label over the dashed lines and seal it. Please send from your most convenient UPS collection, and you may go to www.ups.com/drop-off for those locations. You may also call 1-800-742-5877. Today we're going to be learning how to do the neuroadrenal urine and saliva test. The first thing that you're going to be doing is collecting your saliva specimens, although it's recommended that you collect both the saliva and urine on the same day. What you'll start out with is collecting the 4 saliva specimens. You're going to be collecting one of those specimens an hour after getting out of bed, and then you're going to do one at bedtime, and then you'll be collecting 2 in between, at least 3 hours apart. So what that means, an example is that if you wake up at 6 a.m., then you do your first collection at 7 a.m., at 11 a.m., 5 p.m., and then again at 10 p.m. Before you begin, you need to avoid brushing your teeth, chewing gum, and consuming food or liquid except water for 60 minutes prior to saliva collection. Do not take any of your supplements or medications unless your doctor or healthcare provider advises you otherwise. List all the medications and supplements that you're taking on your health history form, and resume your normal routines after your specimen collection. If you're currently using any cortisol or DHEA therapies, then you need to consult with Dr. Hosbein prior to taking these tests to determine your collection times. The way that you're going to collect your saliva specimens are that you're going to briefly rinse your mouth with cold water 5 minutes prior to the collection time. You're going to peel the printed paper from the parafilm squares, that's these guys right here, and you're going to slowly chew this paraffin film, and that's going to help you with creating some more saliva. So this is how we'll do this. You go ahead and peel them apart. You stick this in your mouth. And you don't place anything in your mouth other than this paraffin for the entire time that you're collecting your saliva. You're going to collect your saliva in one of these tubes, and you're going to collect it until it's 3/4 full of liquid. You're going to be collecting this, like I said, up to 3/4 way, and it doesn't include any of the foam. That's not part of the 3/4. Once you have filled this up 3/4, you're going to cap it tightly. You're going to take one of these specimen labels. You're going to write the appropriate information on the top with your name. You need to circle that it's saliva that you've collected. You're going to put the date and the time and circle whether it's the AM or the PM collection. You're going to place this on your specimen. Put it right across. Okay, so you're going to peel and wrap the label around the tube. Do not cover the cap or leave any label hanging off the tube. Also, fill in the time and date on the paperwork. Repeat these steps for each collection. Now, specimens need to be stored overnight. Freeze until shipment. Ship the next morning, no ice pack is necessary. Specimens are stable during the shipping process. Here are your instructions for the NeuroScreen. This is a urine specimen collection. 12 hours prior to collecting your urine specimen, do not eat. You may drink plain water up until bedtime. You can go ahead and please take your supplements and medications normally before bedtime. The morning of your urine specimen collection, do not eat, do not drink any liquids, avoid tobacco and exercise. Do not take any supplements or medications unless specifically directed to do so by Dr. Lisa. And do not take any of those medications or supplements until after your specimen collection. List all of your medications and supplements on the patient history form. Please note, any menstruating women should not collect their urine specimens during the time of their period. Do not collect the first urine of the morning. That's very important, so I'll repeat it. Do not collect the first urine of the morning. Any nighttime urination should not be considered the first urine of the morning. Specimens should be collected 2 to 3 hours after getting out of bed for the day. Resume your normal routine after specimen collection. How to collect the urine specimen. Collect a midstream specimen of urine in the collection cup. Use the pipette to transfer urine from the collection cup to the transport tube. Fill the transport tube 3/4 full. Note, there is a white disc which is located inside of the transport tube. It's used to preserve the specimen. If it's not visible, the disc may be under the cap. Do not remove the disc from the transport tube. Write your name, time and date on the urine specimen label. Circle urine, also fill in the time and date on the paperwork. Peel the back off the specimen label and wrap the label around the tube. Do not cover the cap or let the label hang off the tube. Ship it immediately. No ice pack is necessary. Specimens include a preservative and are stable during the shipment process. If the specimen must be stored overnight, refrigerate it until it's shipped. Wrap the specimen tube in the absorbent pad and close the resealable bag that the tube came in. Tuck the front flap into the box and seal with your UPS mailing label, which is included in the box. Place the label within the dashed lines and adhere over the front edge. Please send from your most convenient UPS location, and you may go to www.ups.com/drop-off for those locations. For international shipments, delivery charges still apply. International delivery should be addressed to the physical address only, which is noted above. Do not address to the P.O. Box. Deliveries can be made Monday through Friday via a private courier of your choice. The following is a list of instructions for the perimenopausal panel. Step 1 includes the things to avoid. You need to avoid food, beverages, and brushing your teeth for at least 1 hour prior to the collection of your saliva. You need to avoid the collecting of the saliva within 60 minutes after rinsing for 3 to 5 days prior to the date of collection, and until the sample has been collected, avoid any sublingual drops under your tongue and sucking on troches or pellets. Swallow them with liquid instead. Do not use liquid hormones, troches, or pellets from the night before collection until after the sample has been collected. Next is how to collect your saliva sample. Write your first initial, last name, and the date of birth on each vial. Follow the schedule that's listed on your paperwork included in your test kit. Follow the schedule on the right for days to collect. You will see included in your test kit paperwork that shows the days to collect. For example, you'll see that step 2 on your paperwork says to choose an option below and then follow the arrow to step 3. An example is, I have menstruated this month. If that's the case, then follow the arrow to the instructions on how to proceed. So, if you have menstruated this month, then sample 1 is collected 7 to 10 days after flow starts, and then you freeze after the collection. Sample 2 is collected 19 to 23 days after the start of your flow. 3 to 5 minutes before collection, rinse your mouth thoroughly with cold water for about 30 seconds. Express enough saliva to fill the vial till the 4th or 5th mark, excluding the foam. Fill the collection tube to the 4th or 5th mark with your saliva. Do not suck too strongly and take your time to produce the saliva. Fill in the following circles as applicable. The circles included on your paperwork are, I have been diagnosed with gingivitis or bleeding gums. And the second option is, I am not on a regular weekday or sleep night schedule. We want you to tell us about the hormones that you're using. On your paperwork, you'll see under the category of step 1 where you will fill in the hormones that may be included. Tell us about the hormones you are using. If you are taking or have taken any hormones or drugs during or within 3 months of test collection, please specify the type, the daily dose, and the schedule and date and time when last taken. Step 4 includes the storage and mailing instructions. Ship samples on same day as last sample collection, which is preferred. If not, then refrigerate the samples and ship within 1 to 3 days. Write your name, address, gender, date of birth, and collection date on the requisition form. Write your name and date of birth on each of your vials. Be sure the required test orders are marked on the form. If not, please contact Dr. Lisa for test orders. Include payment check or credit card information and a copy of your Medi-Cal or insurance paperwork as necessary. Include payment check or credit card information and a copy of your Medicare or insurance card if applicable. Place vials, requisition or the test form, and payment into the kit box.